What's going on, people? It's your man, the White Bee, back once again. Big shout out to my big doggy, Gareth Knight, for coming through and boosting up the coins. So, bosh, we got some crazy news for you, man, right now regarding Oleksandr. Very nice, I like your customers, Usyk. And people have been, listen, I'm not gonna lie to you. I'm going to tell you the truth right now. That's what I'm fixing to do. Listen, man. I believe, should Usyk be cannon fodder with the rest of the unwashed Ukrainian masses? Spiritually speaking, I think he probably should. I don't believe in celebrity. Yeah, celebrity don't buy you a draft dodging ticket in God's eyes. Imagine there is a God, yeah, which Usyk proclaims there is. What's Usyk going to tell God? Oh, our people were getting shabbarkled, paying the ultimate price, whilst I was wanking off in a ring. I don't think that's going to go down too well. Martyrdom. True martyrdom. Yeah? Freezing your tits and feet off, being shot at in a nasty, filthy trench, filling up with water in winter. That's the type of martyrdom I'm talking about. I ain't talking about no corny ring with boxing gloves on. Anyway, that sets the scene, right? And it's come out now that Usyk has sacked off his long-time promoter, Oleksandr Usyk. And it's interesting, there's a narrative that these Eastern European men, they're more based. Like when you think, even Golovkin did the same thing with his trainer, right? When these men are washed up, they're grateful for all the little pieces of scraps they're thrown. But once they're on, they start nickel and diming. That's what they start doing. Usyk has been hanging at the back of Oleksandr since time began, since we've known him, hanging at the back of him, right? And for all that hanging at the back of him, no doubt, Usyk's made good money. He ain't going to be starving. But there's a question of loyalty here, ultimately. Here we go. Usyk put this statement out about 2 days ago, and here it is. Bosh! Usyk said, "It's been a tremendous journey, 12 years of unbelievable success. Two young dreamers met each other to change the game. Back in 2013, I gave you my word and I kept it. At the time, no one believed we were capable of achieving what we set out to do. But by the grace of God, we completed the mission impossible, a dream come true. Thank you for all we've gone through and for the honour to be the lifetime promoter of the double undisputed. May the Lord bless you and guide you your next steps. Thanks God for everything." So Usyk's cut. Now listen, to be fair, he's probably made 10, 20 mil himself off the back of Oleksandr, so he ain't hurting. He's not bitter. People are bitter when it's like, I don't know, Brendan Ingle, who spent 10, 15 years with Naz. And then, I'm not even sure Brendan was bitter, but Brendan stood by his principles and said, listen, Naz, it's, 10 or 20% all the way. I don't care if you're making £10 or £1 million, it's a given percentage. And I think that loyalty, it's a moody iPhone in here for real. I think that loyalty, it can't be really understated. And to some extent, you have to say fair play to AJ. He gets a lot of flack here, but AJ could have been deaded off Eggy, particularly since Turkey's been on the scene. Although I think, to be fair, Eggy did put him in a 10-year Mandinga Calvin Candy contract, so he ain't going nowhere. Not until the feet's peeling off of AJ's feet is he going nowhere, man. He picking that cotton, man, from Massa Calvin Candy Hearns Jr. That's what he doing. So maybe we're not getting the facts straight here. Is it possible the contract between him and Usyk expired? I've never really heard any contractual details. And I think with Turkey in the game, Usyk's fought for the twilight of his career. Well, if I'm getting promoters, traditionally they're the ones who provide the opportunity. I.e., Eggy Hearn, when he was a big promoter, he had the DAZN platform, he had the Sky platform, so you get that bread. But now you've got Turkey doing it all. Promoters are useless. That's the truth. So this is a smart business decision from Usyk, as it probably was a smart business decision for Gennady Golovkin when he got rid of his long-time 10-year-long trainer, Abel Sanchez. Just deaded him off. But I think the issue for me is these guys only get funky when the money's there. And this guy Usyk, he loves banging on about, the Bible this and the Bible that, yeah. But what does the Bible tell you, right? If that's your day one brother, or it's not day one, but certainly he's been there when you was Dusty McDust. If that's your day one, Krasiuk, bear in mind, promoters only take a percentage. He's only getting 10%, right? So let's say it's 100 million. He'll be getting 90. So it's not like Usyk's missing out. He's missing out on greed, essentially. Yeah. Now, we don't know the circumstances here. It's possible a lot of these kind of... Usyk's name still isn't even big now. But a lot of these cats coming out of Ukraine or whatever, often they've got some... I'm not saying Krasiuk's an oligarch, but I'm not sure of Krasiuk's background, but I assume he probably had some money. He probably invested a little bit after the Olympics. It's not like Usyk came out of the Olympics, yeah, and he had Nike deals, like some Western athletes get, and he was on and popping. He probably came out Dusty McDust, yeah? He probably couldn't rub his two hands together. You see that one there? Empty. His pockets were bone dry. So Krasiuk probably... It's a bit like Brendan Ingle again. These guys... They take risk at the start. Brendan Ingle probably spent hours of unpaid labour training Naz and training hundreds of fighters. So when them guys make it, it's supposed to just work out. Yeah, now again, Krasiuk, he's up 10, 20 mil. So that's probably why he's so based. He's like, well, I could have had 30 mil, but I've got 20. You're not going to cry over spilt milk at that point. But it does show that Usyk's putting money first. Listen, man, let me tell you something now, folks. Yeah? Would the YB put money first? The YB is the biggest Babylonian. Yeah? You can imagine. You best believe it, man. I'm not going to tell you no lies here. The difference between me and Usyk is, though, he talk about the Bible. Yeah? He says he's not pagan like the YB. I'm telling you now, yeah? If I could rob 10 mil from my nan right now... No, I'm messing, but you get the point. I'll tell you this for free, though. If my nan had 20 mil, I'd teeth 10 off her right now. What do you need that for, man? Send some money my way. That there is called redistribution. Yeah? Robin Hoodism. That's what that's called. That's just from my point of view. If you've got 20 and I got nothing, you best believe it. What's your old ass need them coins for anyway, man? Put a young life. You don't need money when you're old and washed up, man. You need money when you're young. That's when you need the shmoney, man. Pass that money down here, Nanny, right now. You best believe it, man. I'll put you in the care home. Stop playing. Don't play with me. You playing with the wrong one. Playing with the YB. Yeah, but listen. Usyk talk about the Bible and whatnot, and this don't seem very biblical to me. It seems like nickel and diamond. Yeah? This seems like nickel and diamond. He's sitting there thinking, well, I would get 90 million with Krasiuk involved, or I could get 100 million without him involved. I'll take the 100. Now, there's another argument that says, well, Krasiuk, what's he really doing now? Yeah, the Bible also says a man should work for his bread. What work is Krasiuk doing? Turkey's doing all the promoting, all the organising. I'm not even sure. Krasiuk isn't even the manager. He's the promoter. So the manager will at least send a few emails back and forth from Turkey. Although Turkey says he prefers to speak with the fighters directly. Right? So I get it. You've got a manager who's getting a percentage. You've got a promoter who's getting a percentage. That's at least, between both of them, that's at least 20% traditionally. Although I'd assume, once you get to a high level, I've heard this, once you get to a high level, they stop doing the whole percentage. You give people a flat fee, because it gets silly. Right, if you're making 100 mil, why are you giving some dude, some plumber, 10 million bucks to send some emails? I never understood that. Right. At the same time, it's the scale. You start off, these managers are doing work, and they're probably getting minimum wage for it. When Usyk first started his career, although he I'm trying to think now. Let's have a look at his resume quick time. I'm intrigued to see what plumbers he for. We can more or less judge how much he was getting paid at the very start of his career. And from that we can probably derive, well, Krasiuk was probably getting paid $1,000 a month from Usyk in the initial stage. Maybe. Let's see the first fight he had. And estimate from there, because he didn't come onto the scene until what? Even when he was in the cruiserweight, he made good money in that. It was a Super 6 tournament. But he won. So this guy here, look, plumbers. He fought Felipe Romero. How much do you think he got paid for that? Nothing, not a bean, right? So Krasiuk's working for peanuts. Mendoza, his second fight, he got peanuts. Third fight, peanuts. Fourth fight, peanuts. Fifth fight, peanuts. Sixth fight, peanuts. Seventh fight, peanuts. Eighth, 9. The first fight I've heard about someone is Glowacki. You're talking 10 fights in. 10 fights and 3 years in is when he might have been started getting a little taste of something. And who's bankrolling Usyk's career at this point? I don't believe it. Listen, he's fighting unranked dudes who are 15-9. I don't believe he's getting big bread. So how's Usyk living? Often these early promoters, they invest. They say, okay, here's 40, 50 grand a year baseline for you. Now, it doesn't sound like a lot, but at the time he's taking risk. He don't know how good Usyk is. It took Krasiuk's belief in Usyk to speculate on the future and say he will be something. And a lot of times it don't go that way. A lot of times they end up no good. A lot of times they end up like Johnny Bosch and get sparkletoned by Dave Allen, he's on the Nando's, to tell the truth. You get sparked by some lazy Donny from Donny, who on Nando's 24/7. That's most of the time how it goes in this game. You just saw Galal Yafai, perfect example of it. A bit different. He's got the UK thing and the Team GB and whatnot, but if you'd have put money into Galal's early career, look at it now, washed up looking. Anyway, Team Usyk have responded. Interestingly, it's his manager. His manager's piped up now. Not Usyk himself yet. So I'm interested, obviously, to see what Usyk says, but this is the statement from his team. You see the article here from TalkSport. Oleksandr Usyk splits with long-time promoter weeks before. Is that the one? Oh, don't play with me, man. Please don't play with me. Please don't play with me right now. Oh yeah, here we go. Usyk's team released first statement on shock split with long-time promoter. Oleksandr Usyk's team have provided their first leaked statement to TalkSport.com on the Ukrainian split with long-time promoter Krasiuk. Here's the statement. Usyk's handlers have remained silent on the matter up until Monday afternoon, when head of Team Usyk and CEO of Ready to Fight, Sergey Lepin, provided an exclusive statement leaked to TalkSport, shedding some light on the situation. This is a natural stage that many go through. Greed. Yeah, greed is what it is. Nickel and diming. Because where was the natural stage when he was washed up fighting plumbers? Right? Why didn't you level up then? Oops. Like Mayweather, De La Coca, Pacquiao, and Carrot Top before him, Usyk reached a point where it was time to build something of his own. Is that meritable? Normally how it goes, though, for example, Leonard Ellaby and Floyd Mayweather, take that as an example. Leonard Ellaby was hanging at the back of Floyd from very early on in his career, right? So when Floyd wanted to go his own way, which was all fake anyway, he was never a real promoter. He never had his own TV deal. It was almost like a music industry model. You know, where all these rappers have these labels, but in reality it's Interscope who's doing it all. Just a fake and gay label that they throw to the cotton pickers to make them think they're in charge of something. They're not in charge of nothing, man. That's the truth. It's a fake little gay label. Anyway, even with Floyd, and Floyd for me is one of the more treacherous individuals. Leonard Ellaby was hanging at the back of Floyd, carrying his bag, carrying his spit bucket, and then guess what? Bosh. Floyd wants to make his own fake little thing, but to be fair to Floyd, he put Leonard at the top of that. He was the top of Mayweather Promotions. So normally if you're making a promotional outfit, you'd have put Krasiuk in at the top of it, or somewhere in there, right? Anyway, he goes on. Usyk has a strong professional team that has long taken over key areas from training to brand development. The decision was thoughtful, conflict-free, and made with respect for the shared experience and understanding that everyone follows their own path. Okay, so this Sergey Lapin, obviously, he's the head of Team Usyk and the CEO of Ready to Fight. So this has been an inside coup, hostile takeover. Lapin said, wait there a minute, why am I going to be sharing my bread with this Krasiuk? Let's just cut him out and I'll do it. And that's what you've seen here, end of the day. But I don't believe Usyk's stupid. So an honourable man would say, listen, Lapin, You plumber from Liverpool. You plumber from the Ukraine. You plumber from the Donbass. I'm just throwing things out there right now. Yeah? You plumber from Donetsk. You listen up right now. Yeah? There's plenty to go round. So you thought you was getting 20. How about this? Both of you plumbers are getting 10% each. That's all you have to do. Right? If you're an honourable man. Because Usyk should be saying, listen, Lapin, you're not doing nothing any more or less than Krasiuk. So you can both cut the piece of bread in half and share it. Don't be doing But Usyk ain't based, end of the day. He ain't based or honourable. He nickel and dime. Even Floyd, like, it's bad when Floyd's doing things and making you look bad. It's like, whoa, that's crazy. But yeah, the argument is, well, the fighters are the ones fighting, so they've got to be the ones to make it all. But listen, he's the one who claims to be Mahatma Gandhi, right? He claims to be, oh, I love Jesus and all this other rubbish. He puts out there. I'm not saying loving Jesus is rubbish. I'm saying he claims it. I'm not, listen, I don't know what Jesus says about business, to be fair. But this seems a bit off to me. Yeah, seems a bit off. Anyway, on the last note, it'll be interesting to see how this shakes things up, though. In terms of, it's only 3 weeks before the fight, but listen, Usyk's an experienced pro. He ain't a punk. He knows what he's doing. So there's a certain man you might say, oh, he might lose his head. His head's gone. But in reality, I think Usyk's quite cold. When that bell goes, he's not going to be sitting there shitting himself because Krasiuk ain't no longer hanging out the back of him no more, right? The media, oh, it's a big breakup and a big split. No, it's just shmoney. It's just Usyk's greed. That's all it is. But it would be, for me, it would be quite righteous if Dubois knocked him out on this basis. Yeah. So at least Usyk could share what the Ukrainian masses are going through. Not this charade called boxing. Do you understand, people? Celebrity charade. If Dubois does Johnny pushes him, he'll be able to taste a few percentiles, a few percentages. Yeah. Of what the unwashed Ukrainian cannon fodder are going through. And I'm not saying Usyk don't empathise with their situation. Yeah, but this is the thing. Let me tell you the difference between me and Usyk. The difference between me and Usyk is I don't want to go to war. Yeah? I don't want to go to war with either of these. Yeah? Not Vladimir Putin, not Vladimir Zelensky. None of them, man, do I want to die for. At the same time, though, guess what? I tell you that. I say, listen, man. Yeah? Everyone. Don't turn up there. I wouldn't be shilling one side. I'd say, listen, they're all J's, okay? What's that word they call when people refuse to fight? That's what my beck and call. If you don't like war, that is you don't sit there and Usyk's playing aside. He's kind of like, oh, political, getting sucked off by Vladimir Zelensky. Yeah, Vladimir Zelensky. He suck him off. Oh, here's my belt, bro. I'll be saying, listen, man. Put your arms down, brothers. Yeah, we're not dying for these J's no more. That's what I'll be doing. Because I'm not going to join you. As a celebrity, I'll be telling you, man, listen, man, I ain't joining you. I'm in Poland. I'm in Miami. I'm in Monaco, man. Don't do it, folks. I'm living good. He ain't do that. He kind of like chilling it. Right? That's where me and him are different. You have to say something. Not just sit on the sidelines politicking, which is the vibes I get from Usyk. So those are the vibes I get from Usyk. Bosh. Anyway, let me know your thoughts. Smash the like button, subscribe, like off the bell, 100%. There's no doubt about this, some people. Yep.